Think about it. You started training, practiced day and night, and then one day your body just says, no. Your legs feel heavy, your speed drops, and your stamina is gone. If you don't understand these 5 key factors, your performance will always hit a limit. The biggest mistake? A flawed training plan and lack of a scientific approach. And this isn't just a beginner's problem. Even experienced runners make the same mistake. No matter how much you increase your training load, if you don't optimize your lactate threshold, your body will eventually refuse to push further. Need proof? Elite marathon runners race between LT1 and LT2. That's their secret to sustained speed. But many athletes train at the wrong intensity without understanding their lactate zones. This leads to a performance plateau. Train for hours without a strategy, and race day failure is inevitable. Every athlete wants to maintain a fast pace for longer, but the biggest mistake most people make is focusing only on speed. Let's compare 2 runners. 1, both have the same 1K pace, but one can sustain it for 5K, while the other slows down after 2K. 2, who wins the race? You already know the answer. Without endurance and lactate efficiency, speed alone means nothing. Copying training plans equals slow or no improvement. Most athletes copy training plans without understanding which lactate zone they are training in. If you don't get this, no matter how many hours or reps you put in, your progress will be slow or stop completely. If you're still just running without a strategy, thinking, if I run more, I'll get better, try this. Do your best workout today and check back in 10 days. Do you feel the same, or do you see real improvement? If not, you've been training wrong all along. This video covers everything that 95% of athletes fail to understand. And those who don't get it, they stay stuck at the same level forever. Lactate threshold, the game changer in performance. Lactate threshold isn't just a technical term, it's a technical term. It's a game-changing factor that can drastically improve your racing and endurance performance. If you optimize your lactate threshold, you can sustain higher intensity levels without fatigue for longer periods. Whether you're a sprinter, long-distance runner, or any high-performance athlete, lactate threshold plays a key role in determining your peak speed and endurance. The higher your lactate threshold, the longer you can resist fatigue and cover more distance efficient. What happens during exercise? During exercise, your body produces lactate, a metabolic byproduct. Under normal conditions, your body clears this lactate efficiently, but during high-intensity exercise, lactate production increases rapidly while clearance slows down. When lactate accumulation goes out of control and your body can't use it efficiently, you cross your lactate threshold, leading to rapid fatigue and performance drop. Athletes with a higher lactate threshold can maintain high-intensity pace for longer, while those with a low lactate threshold fatigue quickly and struggle to sustain their speed. Elite runners train between LT1 and LT2 to maximize both endurance and efficiency. The real game isn't just about speed, it's about efficiently converting lactate into energy before it overwhelms your system. Understanding LT1 and LT2. Lactate threshold improvement depends on 2 key factors. LT1, first lactate threshold. This represents low intensity endurance where your body efficiently utilizes lactate. LT2, second lactate threshold. This is the high intensity zone where lactate clearance slows, but training here improves both speed and stamina. Elite athletes train between LT1 and LT2 to achieve maximum efficiency. Many runners only focus on high intensity training without developing LT1, which weakens their endurance, a major mistake. How to improve your lactate threshold? Optimizing lactate threshold requires controlled intensity training and progressive overload. Short reps, threshold workouts train the body to clear lactate efficiently. Steady state runs and lactate tolerance drills improve energy efficiency. Focusing only on speed without improving lactate clearance is a big mistake. If your training and race pace feel the same, or if you require long recovery periods, it means you're not training your lactate clearance properly, and that directly affects your performance. Following a single training plan without understanding LT zones will lead to limited progress. Why elite athletes stay in the LT1 LT2 zone? In marathons and endurance races, elite athletes stay between LT1 and LT2, ensuring their body efficiently uses lactate as fuel. If your lactate threshold is low, you'll fatigue faster and your performance will decline. Simply running at high speed or doing resistance training won't improve lactate threshold. It requires a structured, science-based approach. To maximize lactate clearance and utilization, your training should include interval training, steady state runs, controlled intensity workouts. If you don't improve your lactate threshold, no matter how much you train, your progress will eventually stop. But if you train smart, you won't just sustain high speed for longer, you'll also boost your overall stamina and performance. Smart training equals better lactate management equals long-term performance gains. How to improve your lactate threshold? To enhance your lactate threshold, you need to focus on two key aspects. 1. Reducing lactate production. 2. Improving lactate clearance. Reducing lactate production, decreasing the rate of lactate appearance. The first step is to strengthen your aerobic energy system, allowing your body to oxidize more fats for energy instead of relying on glycogen. This slows down lactate buildup and helps delay fatigue. Aerobic base training is essential, consisting of low-intensity, long-duration workouts that enhance fat-burning enzymes and delay lactate accumulation. Training strategies for different athletes. Marathon runners. Long-distance base runs effectively regulate lactate production. Cyclists. 2-hour base rides help in maintaining lactate control. Beginners, 30 to 60 minutes of brisk walking daily is one of the best ways to develop the aerobic system. Without improving aerobic capacity, even high-intensity training will lead to rapid lactate accumulation, limiting performance. B. Improving lactate clearance, increasing the rate of lactate removal. Simply reducing lactate production isn't enough. Your body also needs to efficiently remove and utilize lactate. This requires high-intensity training that enhances lactate clearance. Best training method, interval training. High-intensity efforts combined with low-intensity recovery phases train the body to clear lactate more efficiently. Example workouts for lactate clearance. Runners, 5-min high-intensity run plus 5-min low-intensity jog. Cyclists, 3-min hard effort, 3-min easy pedaling. Rowers, sprinters, 30s all-out efforts, 1-min recovery. 25 to 30% of your total training should be high-intensity workouts, while the rest should be aerobic base training. Then additional workouts. Conditioning exercises after strength training can also boost lactate removal. Step-ups and jump squats, rowing intervals, and bike sprints. The game changer in performance. If you don't train lactate clearance, your recovery will be slow and you'll fatigue quickly after high-intensity efforts. However, if you train both lactate production and clearance, you'll be able to sustain higher intensities for longer, giving you a major performance advantage. Lactic threshold running and training methods. To optimize lactate threshold running, you must train between LT1 and LT2. This is the ideal zone where your body efficiently converts lactate into energy without excessive fatigue. LT1 versus LT2, what's the difference? LT1, first lactate threshold. At this intensity, you can run for 2 to 3 hours without major fatigue. Your body primarily uses fat as an energy source and lactate buildup remains minimal. LT2, second lactate threshold. This is the maximum lactate clearance efficiency point. Well-trained athletes can sustain this intensity for 45 to 60 minutes. Beyond this point, lactate accumulation becomes uncontrollable and fatigue rises sharply. How to train for lactic threshold running. To improve your lactate threshold, you need to gradually increase training volume. Start with shorter reps, then progressively increase duration. 1. Start with 6-minute reps. 2. Once adapted, increase to 10-minute reps. 3. Gradually progress to 15-minute reps. Progressive overload strengthens the lactate clearance system, allowing you to sustain threshold pace for longer durations. The importance of recovery. Threshold training carries a high risk of accumulated fatigue, making recovery just as important as training itself. If recovery is inadequate, your next session's performance will decline. Optimize recovery with easy runs and low-intensity training to promote muscle repair. Sufficient recovery time between high-intensity efforts to enhance lactate clearance. And the performance advantage. By training between LT1 and LT2 consistently, you will see major improvements in endurance and high-intensity performance, beneficial for both long-distance runners and sprinters alike. Race-specific training and season planning. If you are training for a race, maintaining the right balance between LT1 and LT2 is essential. Your training structure must be adjusted according to different seasonal phases to ensure peak performance while keeping fatigue under control. Season planning. How to approach it. 1. Off-season aerobic base development. This phase focuses on building aerobic endurance to create a strong foundation. Key training methods. Long, low-intensity runs or rides to improve fat metabolism and control lactate production. Strength training and mobility work to enhance overall stability and injury prevention. Preseason, threshold and lactate clearance training. This phase introduces moderate intensity, lactate-specific workouts to boost endurance and efficiency. Key workouts, threshold runs and tempo workouts to raise LT1 and LT2, progressive long runs to increase stamina and lactate tolerance. Main goal, train your body to sustain higher paces efficiently. 3. Race preparation phase, high-intensity specific workouts. As race day approaches, workouts become highly race-specific to fine-tune pacing pacing and endurance. Key focus areas. Marathon runners should train between LT1 and LT2 for optimal efficiency. Racing at LT2 directly can be inefficient. Race simulations and goal pace training become crucial for performance readiness. 4. Tapering and peaking phase. In the final phase before the race, training volume is gradually reduced to allow full recovery and peak performance. Key adjustments. Lower intensity workouts to optimize lactate clearance and muscle glycogen replenishment. Case. Race pace efforts to maintain sharpness without excessive fatigue. Right training structure. Better race performance. If you fail to adjust your training to match the seasonal phases, fatigue will accumulate and performance will decline instead of peaking. A structured training approach with a balanced mix of off-season, preseason, and race phase training ensures maximum efficiency and performance gains on race day.